Tip number 1. Lars is currently an S tier character. This is the strongest Lars has ever been in the history of the franchise. So as a Lars main, this is the perfect time to actually use the character if you're trying to rank up. From one Lars main to another, guys, I'll be honest, our boy is due for some more nerfs. Lars is actually insane right now. So again, this is a perfect time to take advantage of Lars being strong to get up those ranks. Running 1 is one of Lars' best moves. It works something similar to his DE3, however, it's just a little bit more versatile. First things first, it's a homing move. Despite not having a homing trail, it does track both sides. It also takes you into silent entry stance at +4. Again, similar to DE3, although DE3 is +5 on block. Running 1 is +4, but honestly, it's just basically the same thing. Now, what makes running 1 a bit more versatile compared to DE3 is the fact that you don't have to commit to the SE mix-up after running 1. So this creates some really strong opportunities that you can bait your opponent into mashing buttons after running 1, because the only counter to the SE mix-up is either you block or do a power crash to beat out Lars' mid option. So if you just do running 1 without going into silent entry, sometimes they'll mash a lot of buttons, creating whiff opportunities for you. Running 1 backdash into Arc Blast is a classic Lars running 1 setup. Running 1 also gives some really strong Oki, so running 1 into SE2 is like the basic Oki you get for the guaranteed follow-up, but not going into SE actually gives you even stronger Oki. So you can do like running 1 without going into SE, and then DE3 plus 4 for an Oki into another SE mix-up. Even forward 2 does hit sometimes with perfect timing, giving you a way stronger Okizeme option rather than just doing running 1 into SE2. It's an amazing move and it's essential for Lars like super strong pressure. So make sure you're utilizing some running 1s, however it is a high, so don't get too predictable with this move. Lars regains a substantial amount of heat just by changing stance, so when you are in heat, try to stay as mobile and as aggressive as possible and try to implement a lot of stance mix-ups, a lot of stance cancels, because you want to constantly have that heat. Lars is currently one of the strongest characters in the game when in heat as well. Like, our boy just goes gold mode. So you want to keep this up for as long as possible, milk as much heat gauge as possible. So stay mobile, stay offensive, and stay stance cancelling. Lars gets rewarded for going into stance after doing certain moves in terms of overall frame data. So for example, full crouch down 1+2 on its own is only +1. However, if you go into LE, it gives you +3, right? Moves like DE4, also +1 on its own, go into stance, +3. Moves like forward for 3, -3 on its own, go into stance, +11. DE3 +4, -3 on its own, go into stance, +4. So the game is encouraging you to actually go into stance with Lars, and as much as most of us don't like this 50-50 casino gameplay style, Lars is actually the best character when it comes to implementing this guessing game mix-ups from his stance transition. So basically, you go for a low, try by all means to go into stance, as you're almost always guaranteed a 50-50 mix-up with Lars, especially for all those lows that take him into limited entry, which is of course his most powerful stance, especially when he is in heat. Lars' down 3-1 wall combo ender is one of the most busted wall combo enders in the game. The damage on this is actually insane. Now this one might be obvious, like guys, if you're going for damage with Lars at the wall, there is no reason to use any other wall ender. I still see Lars players use his old shoulder combo, his grab throw, wall combo ender at the wall. There is no reason, guys. If you're going for damage, down 3-1 is your best friend. And this is one of the moves that is actually due for some nerfs, because the scaling of this is insane. So again, for damage, all you need is down 3-1 at the wall. For Oki, yes, you can use other stuff, but there is no reason to use his older wall combos. Now, despite how strong our boy is this season, Lars still remains weak to sidestep right duck. Like sidestep right dash actually cooks our boy in neutral, so most people still feel indestructible when playing Lars, but boys, stepping against this dude is still very effective. Now I had this in my first Lars tips video, but I'm bringing it back because it's just that important. Make use of your homing moves, right? We have back one and we also have running one. Now an addition, before it was only back one, which was very mediocre, did nothing on counter hit. Now it knocks down on counter hit and gives some pretty decent Oki. We also had back 1+2, which is slow, not as strong, maybe at the wall. But now we also have a running one. It's risky because it's a high, and SS duck does beat running one as well. But again, no one will just randomly duck against Lars in neutral because you do have that back four. So unless it's a hard read, these are very strong homing moves as of season 2 right now. So take advantage of that. High level pro players spam the hell out of back one with Lars because this character is still mad linear. So don't get too greedy just because you think your character is top tier and it is indestructible. Good players are gonna step the hell out of you. So back one, running one are your best friends at close range as well for homing to stop those sidestep right ducks. So earlier I mentioned that Lars is one of the strongest characters in the game when he is in heat. Well, it's kind of because he's like Brian, right? When this character is in heat, he has so many good options and so many busted stuff that sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming on deciding which one you want to prioritize. So for example, he gets a power crush shoulder. This is what he had in season 1 as well. Lars is missing a good power crush, so when he goes into heat, he gets his busted ass power crush into a guaranteed mix. Now this is strong. You just use it to steal your turn back, and like if you do land, you get a guaranteed 50-50 SE mix up. So yes, this is still strong, just don't spam it for no reason, right? You want to use it when your back is against the wall and when you're getting pressured. Then he has moves like sidestep 2. Sidestep 2 is also godlike. This is +6 on block. And on knockdown, it gives you forward to Oki into guaranteed mix. Like, it's actually insane how strong SS2 is, bro. Like, it's so freaking strong. And this move is also currently bugged because when SS2 whiffs, the lightning bolt still comes out. So even if you whiff this sometimes, that lightning bolt will protect you and you steal your plus frames back. It's actually stupid. He also has DE 3+4. This slow is kind of like SS2 as well. You get a knockdown into guaranteed forward to Oki mix up, which is just insane. And then lastly, he has that LE, the juiced up LE mix ups with the juiced up hell sweep, -12 on block by the way, and the me that's safe on block and launches on normal hit. Now the good thing about Lars is most of his hit mechanics all link up to each other. So example, you can start off with like DE 3+4, you get a knockdown, right? That's a hit move. And then from that, you do forward 2 for Oki into LE cancel into Schmix up, right? That Schmix up again is a hit mechanic. So they all kind of tie into each other apart from the power crush, right? So you have to be smart on how to use a power crush. Just don't waste your hit spamming the power crush move over and over again. But all in all of them are strong. You use which is perfect for that particular situation. An actual good tip on DE 3+4 in heat, by the way, you don't want to commit to going into SE2 or SE1+2 as a follow-up for the Oki, kind of like running one. You just want to do DE 3+4 on its own and then go for forward 2 instead. This gives way more damage and a way stronger Oki because you transition into SE, which you can then mix from then as well. You can even cancel SE into an LE mix-up, and again, you are in heat, so that LE mix-up is juiced up. Now DE 3+4 is like -12 if you go for the power crush afterwards, but like it's just -14 on its own if you don't transition to LE to SE, sorry, so it's still just good, right? -14 isn't too bad. The reward is way worth the risk, honestly. So in my opinion, I suggest you just go for DE 3+4 on its own and don't transition into LE, into SE. Just go for the forward to Oki mix-up instead. Last but not least, speaking of Oki, yes, Lars is one of the best characters in the game when it comes to Oki as well. This is because of the forward 2 buff. Now hits grounded and causes the ground flip, right? Now what makes his so busted is the fact that he can transition into SE from the stance, and then he can also cancel SE into LE. So now when Lars is in hit, he knocks you down, goes for forward 2, he can do SE2 if you stay on the ground, or cancel to SE, and by the time you're getting off the ground, he puts you in a 50-50 mix-up situation. So this is going to be your go-to Okizeme 2. Every time you get a knockdown, it's SS2, D3 plus 4, running 1, forward 1 into mix is the name of the game for our boy. It's actually toxic how strong this shit is, and again, this might be due for some nerfs, boy, so use it while you still can, because if they take away the flip and make opponents get off the ground faster, that means Lars loses his mix-up of forward 2, especially whilst in hit, and this will hurt him a lot. You can also use D3 plus 4 for Oki. Honestly, it's still as strong as forward 2, but personally, I do think forward 2 is slightly way better, because man, that LE mix, oh my days, it's so freaking strong. So there you have it, Nemi gang, some quick fire tips on season 2 Lars. Now keep in mind, I have done a part 1 of this video. If you're watching this for the first time, I highly encourage you to watch the first one as well. There are tips in that video that are still viable in season 2, and I've left out a lot of stuff that I added in the previous video. So again, I highly encourage you to watch part 1. I will leave the link in the description as well. So if you have any questions, Nemi gang, please ask your boy. As usual, I interact with everyone, so don't be afraid for any clarity or just advice. Talk to your boy. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. If you've made it far, please don't forget to do that like button, subscribe if you're new, and as usual, may the frame data be ever in your favor. GG.